So just ask me, Rich, what are the biggest questions you have? Like, what are the, where are you blocked, where you stopped up? Do you want me to focus on what you could do now, or do you just want to focus more on the SEO method and you can apply it to whatever you decide to do later? That's the two kind of decisions.
The on-page stuff in the Goldilocks zone is where I kind of get confused between old and new. And, I have Keyword Spy, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're still doing the old method.
Not if you don't want to.
Oh, really? Okay. So, all right. So let me ask you this on the on-page for the process itself, on-page. Are we simply just using Keyword Spy? Is that how?
That's what I would recommend. It's much easier. It's got everything built in. It has the Goldilocks zone built into it.
It does. So when you put the keyword in and you let that run,
yeah,
and then you get and then you get into.
So where that is now coming into play,
yeah,
is in the editor. So you would run the content score, and you don't want to be in this red zone. That's it. You want to be in this green zone. Or at least you want to be higher than your competitors. And the competitors on average of the top 10 are 58. 65 would be good enough to move forward if you're having trouble boosting this count. If you go through our process and generate the article, you really shouldn't have too much trouble generating it. You need to have this lower than 6 probably. If it's a little bit higher than 6, then it's getting pretty predictable, especially if you used AI to generate it. This should be lower probably. This probably shouldn't be so high. If most of the words are 1,500, then you should be around that. You shouldn't be so high. 76% predictable is not great. Yeah, these are the metrics that are important. You can just go with what Keyword Spy says, but you're going to want to learn the recommendations for this. You're going to want to read the pinned posts, go back in the test results channel. You're going to want to go back and read this to make sure you're doing this all correctly here. The recs for the URL is if the competition all has an EMQ in there, you could try an EMQ. And then the competition is the top 10. So if the top 10 has an EMQ in the URL string, anywhere in the URL string. So this is the URL string. So including this stuff. So this is all the URL string.
Right? It could even precede the .com. It could be in the subdomain. It could be anywhere. So, okay. Correct. Okay, that's what I thought.
So
all right.
If they have the EMQ anywhere in here, and most, like 6 out of the 10 do, then it's safe for you to do. If they don't, then it's not. Otherwise, go with the top words here in the report. Look at what are the top words here scored in the report. That's really what you should have. So home light fixtures was the EMQ. Yep. So ceiling lamps, lighting fixtures. Home lighting fixtures would be a great, really highly scored URL.
Yeah, I see.
That would not be the EMQ. So this could be home lighting fixtures, and we don't use dashes because we tested those demote.
That's so interesting to me too.
And then the title tag, again, you could just go by this if you wanted, add the winning words, ceiling lamps, lighting, lights, chandelier's lamp, and then submit it, and it'll come up with something pretty good. Home light fixtures, light up your home with ceiling lamps and fixtures. Sure.
And the winning words is, sorry to interrupt, the winning word, if you say that, is pulling right from this list.
Yes.
Automatically.
Yes.
You're not, it's whatever the winning words is, so that the total score, whatever is the top of that.
The highest scored ones. Yeah.
Highest scored ones. Okay.
Takes like the top 8 of these or whatever. And if you don't like
any
they're
of
all
these, the same, they're pulling them all in. They're all 24. So I guess that's why it's pulling all those. Yeah. Or would it reach further? Like how far does it pull for keywords?
Or I think it takes 8.
Okay. I'm just curious.
It takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It took 7.
Cool.
So, and you can get rid of any of these. You can downvote any of these to get rid of them if you don't like them. But they're all really highly scored for all the different AIs that we test. So that's a good thing. And then if you don't like that, you could use some of the other methods I've taught to use ChatGPT to give you a bunch of examples of these, maybe better ones. Yeah. If you have perks in here, if you have a sale going on, like they get, these guys have 30% off everything. I could say home light fixtures, light up your home with 30% off, I could say.
Right, just for the click.
For the click, and also that boosts. Perks actually boost without having any clicks at all, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
So yeah, you wouldn't want to repeat the EMQ anywhere in here. And the meta description, the same deal. The meta description has its own keywords that are tested separately.
Right.
But you're going to want to go for the top ones. You can use the ChatGPT thing that analyzes the page. You copy and paste this whole thing in there, and it makes a meta description. That's boosted really well in my testing, Greg's testing, in Warren's testing, a lot of different testing we've done. Or you can use the.
I'm sorry, what'd you do? You copied the whole. I'm sorry, I missed that. You said you copied the whole.
Copy this whole thing. So you have to check the group here, but it was here in test results.
Okay, I think I saw.
If you see white in anywhere in here, you should be reading it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You should make sure you're up on that. It was just up here. Here's the new recommendations for the meta description, and the prompt was this. This is the prompt. Then you paste in your page down to wherever it is here. Paste it down to here, and then you put this in, and it gave me this meta description, and that got really good boost.
Yeah. Wow.
So I would recommend doing that for the meta description. Our new way of doing this will also work really well too soon. Adding the winning words and then saving it. Oops, no, and then submit it. Submit. Boom. This is a little short, so we're changing this soon to have a longer meta description that better follows these recommendations here.
Which work there, yeah. Okay.
Which is not quite doing it the exact same way as I showed it up here, but should work pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, this is just recent, right? I think I remember just seeing this.
Yeah. And the other thing in here that really matters, so that the URL matters, the title matters, the meta description matters. The predictability here matters a fair amount, but not that much. This matters much more. This matters here in content, under entities, under check work. And I gotta turn this off from the dark mode here. You're going to want to check the work. You want to do words. You're going to want to score it by the highest scored words here. And you're going to want to make sure here that there are no zeros. Like I need to have these spread keywords that are really highly scored. I need to have them in there. So you need stuff
that's looking at your current content and telling you what it's filling the words out and telling you if you have them there or not, basically.
Correct.
Must-haves, right? And these are just spread keywords. I was asking about that. The spread and depth.
The depth, or really how you measure the depth, is this measurement here.
Okay.
And how you measure the spread is whether you got zeros here on the top scored words. So I want to find a way to get homes and bulb in here. I want to find a way to get selection and table in here. I want to find a way to get more range wide fittings. Like these are still 50% as powerful as everything else, and could be very powerful for other words. You don't want to see zeros in the top like 100 words here.
Got it.
Guys, I've seen big boost from doing that as well. So if you follow those steps for Keyword Spy, you're probably pretty good. And it's going to pretty much do this automatically for you very soon. You just have to check it to make sure it's the case. Pretty soon under Keyword Discovery, it's going to do it all for you.
So you're going to be able to just put in a keyword and it's going to pick out the most lucrative ones in that group? Or is it going to... Is it going to help you with keyword discovery in a sense that of picking the niche yourself, or is it going to you already have the niche you're going for and it's going to help with the keyword selection? A
little in between, but it's mostly you already have the niche, you have some idea anyway.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking you might do? I don't even know if you're in a place where you can even start answering these questions, but
no, so there's two things. There's a couple paths I was going to go down. I can go work for an agency or be my own agency, right? With my experience and now with this knowledge, the more lucrative path forward for me is to be my own and do SEO locally, right? That's the way I should be going. I can get a job in the meantime. Obviously, I gotta pay some bills, but I'm just trying to find the quickest way for me to start getting money in my pocket.
The quickest way for you to start getting money in your pocket, is you go on to Upwork, you sign up as a worker. You go on to Fiverr, you sign up as a worker. And you say you will do complete keyword research. You do full on page, including writing, for $100 a page.
Yeah.
And then you just fire them into Keyword Spy, and it'll pretty much do the whole thing for you. And you can do that day in, day out for $100 a page. And then you start building up your agency that way, right? So you're getting money in the door now.
Yeah.
Go on to SEO forums, any SEO forum that'll let you sell your services, and you say right now, I will do full on page for you, including writing. It will have RankBrain, it'll have BERT, it'll have neural matching, It'll have the image entity selected. It will have the helpful content and the EAT, experience, expertise, authority, and trust, all built in, totally custom written for you. I'll do all that, all your on-page you need to do with CRO and perks for $100 a page. It would take you, in terms of work time, it will take you pretty soon. After you get used to it, it'll take you like 10 minutes a page.
Jesus. Okay.
Because Keyword Spy is going to generate this for you, right? All this for you. And then you just charge $100 a page, or maybe even whatever, $50 a page.
Yep.
And then you just generate it. Just set 10 to generate Keyword Spy. Just do a batch of 10. Go have a burger.
Yeah.
Come back in a few hours. They'll start to be done. And then you go into reports. You check the reports to make sure it's all done and all working correctly. Then you go into editor, and there would be a generate AI content button here, or we're working on, boom, it'll do the whole thing. Then you would just run your content score, and you'd make sure that we're more than competitors here. We make sure the readability looks good, the sentiment looks good, make sure the words look good, make sure the generation, the predictability all looks good, and then check the content here. It will generate title tags, meta descriptions, and URLs for you. You check to make sure that those look good to you. If you have some, you ask the customer, do you have any perks I can brag about? Put those perks here and put those perks here in the meta description, which will be longer. And then you go to the content, then you go to entities, and you check the work, then you click for words, and you just make sure in the score here that, okay, looks good, because it'll also put the depth and spread keywords in here for you as well. So you shouldn't see any zeros really high up in the list here, but if you do, go and manually add them, or use the ChatGPT prompts that I showed you to add them. And then you're good to go, and say, here you go. Then you share it, check the metrics, looks good. Or you just copy and paste it into something else, or you upload it to them, save it to them, send it to them. If you don't want to share Keyword Spy with them, so that they don't decide to ditch you and to just do it themselves on Keyword Spy, if they know how easy it is to do in this. You'll have your grandfathered price for this. Pretty soon people won't, and they'll be paying at least minimum $500 a month for this, if not far, far more, because it's going to be so easy to do. Then you would go to keyword discovery, and you just find all the topical niches, all of the silo content they should be making, or whatever you want to call it, all the topical cluster pages they should be making, all the pages they should be trying to rank for, money pages, which is all the same thing in my mind. You build it all in the same topic, and you build pages. Every page should be a ranking page that makes money. 80% of the time, sometimes 20% of the time, you'll write just a article that's good for the user, but it doesn't directly convert. But it will please users so much, and will please Google because it has the information you need, that you can just dovetail it into other areas. That'll do this for you too. And then pretty soon after you do this, you say there's a button that says do the keyword report for it, and it'll get built right in here, and it'll just start developing pages for you. This whole thing automates a lot of the process.
Yeah, it seems that way. Okay.
And then they'll come back and say, hey, it didn't work. Say, all right, great. I'll put images in it, and I'll do the DOM vector for you too.
So DOM, should I? That was confusing to me too. Is that the HTML?
Yes. The DOM stands for Document Object Model. It is the object model that Google renders out of the HTML. And all browsers do this too, right? That's how and there's an object model, a document object model. The document is the web page, but it could be for XML as well. That's why they call it a document object model. And they have an object model, and that has all your elements in it, has all your divs here, and your JavaScript there, and your CSS here, and also the properties, and you can modify it, right? And so that's what Google uses as the genetic fingerprint for the design of what's going on. That's one of the theories, and I've got a lot of proof to show that theory probably is true. Another theory that shows that might be true is they also look at the web page like it is a face, and they recognize elements and positions. Do you have any vague ideas, any niches you might want to go for?
Every time I was trying to build something on my own, choosing a niche was always the biggest thing. I have hobby. People say choose a hobby. I have 400 gallons of aquarium fish downstairs that I run as a hobby, right? I can get to that.
Yeah.
I mean,
my brother-in-law is deep into aquariums and fish.
Is he? Yeah. I got tons of them downstairs. My whole room downstairs.
If you're on any Facebook groups for this stuff, you probably know my brother-in-law.
Oh right, yeah, I am. I am. I do a lot of it. Old hobby that I picked up recently over the last couple of years. I love it. But yeah, so I mean, do I want to sell fish? Probably not. There's equipment I suppose I can get into.
Yeah.
I could just sell my whole thing is probably just selling my services.
That's
So
that's what I would do. I would go into Upwork, I'd go into Fiverr, so you're global, and then I would go to any business meetings, any local network stuff
yeah,
for your local area, and I would say, hey, I got a good process. Don't tell them it's Keyword Spy. If you want to make sure, if you're talking to other SEOs anyway, or if you're talking with clients you think would do it themselves, say I've got a good process. I can do each page $100, and then just start grabbing customers all over the place.
yeah, yeah.
That would be the fastest way to leverage this and to make money off of this right away.
I just had a question. When you're talking AI keywords versus PMQ, right? I know what PMQ is. When you talk about AI keywords, just ones you have in ChatGPT select, or what do you mean by AI key? When you call it AI keywords?
Yeah, that means these keywords here.
Okay, that's just okay. Yeah, all right.
These keywords here.
Yeah. Yes. What are those for? Are those the 4 words that you went into the top? Illuminated, wall mounted.
So these are BERT keywords. So BERT is a transformer, like the helpful content transformer, or the product content transformer, or the entity vectoring transformer, or the experience, expertise, authority, and trust transformer, which might be some of the same transformer or might be all different transformers. They think in terms of phrases. They think in terms of ideas, which can have multiple words. However, RankBrain, neural matching, they think in terms of, and maybe a couple other AIs that Google uses, they think in terms of words. They think in terms of tokens, actually, but they think in terms of words. So RankBrain is looking for words, as far as I can tell. Neural matching is looking for words, and I'm very sure about that. The other transformers, BERT and helpful and expertise, are looking for phrases as well. So we also score phrases. That would be probably good to mention as well. But that's less important than the main beats that I've mentioned earlier.
Right. So you just put a seed keyword in there, and it's going to do everything else. You put in a keyword in, a niche keyword, whatever it is.
Right.
African cichlid fish. I have fish in the mind.
So here's some questions it's going to ask you. Are you a top level expert in this topic niche as far as Google's concerned? So if whoever you're doing this for, Google knows they're a top level expert in niche, you'd say yes, because it's going to be a little easier for them.
Yeah.
Are you planning on using AI content? We're going to make it a little harder because we're going to presume that your AI content is going to suck because you might not be using us.
Yeah.
Are you already a powerful site using this? So we're just going to say no for all those things.
Yeah.
You say get results. Okay, so it's pending. So now it's going to go do the whole process that we do, and it'll find thousands and thousands of keywords based on African cichlid fish.
Right.
And you're going to know what's lucrative in this niche, as soon as the report is done. I don't know how long the report takes. It's got to do a lot of processing behind the scenes, probably 20 minutes, half an hour. But anything that's immediate is probably going to suck.
Yeah. Right. No, I know. Right.
So it'll go and it'll do all that stuff. And that stuff was for the difficulty ratings later on. That has nothing to do with the keywords it's going to find for you. Those questions were for the difficulty ratings later on. And then it's going to do all this work for you.
Awesome. Well, this is super helpful.
I'm glad to hear that, Rich. All right. And you guys heard it here. If you want to hire his services, email me and I'll forward you on to him.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Sounds great, Josh. Thanks again. This is awesome.
All right. Thanks, Rich. Good luck. Ask any questions in the group. And you're going to be making some money pretty soon.